Hey guys, I'm TMWF1, and today we will be talking about the best title finale in F1 history. And no, it is not Abu Dhabi 2021.
And it's going Dutch in 2021!
Picture this, it's 2008. The world is recovering from a massive economical crash. Cristiano Ronaldo won his first Ballon d'Or, sparking the greatest rivalry of all time, and I was too. Actually, please don't imagine that. Now let's pick up on what really matters, the 2008 Formula 1 season. Going into the final race, there were two challenges. The first was Lewis Hamilton. At the time, he had 0 championships to his name, but came agonizingly close to winning it in his rookie season in 2007, losing out to Kimi Raikkonen by 1 point and beating his world champion teammate in Alonso by dint of race wins. For this year, he only had 1 contender instead of 3, but the goal remained the same. To win the championship, he had to only finish P5 or higher in the worst case scenario that his competitor wins the race. But who was this competitor, you may ask? Well, he's a man who has partnered with Michael Schumacher and definitely was in the fight in the year prior, Felipe Massa.
Stop the cap.
Now some of you may laugh, especially those new fans who find it funny to slander any driver possible. But we must consider that this is pre-Hungary 2009 Massa, so he was still extremely rapid. No lie, I genuinely think that accident did things to him. He was never the same in terms of pace after that crash. Really sad to see. Moving on, the site of this titanic conclusion to the season was the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace, the Brazilian Grand Prix. Side note, this should always be the final race on the calendar, no questions asked. But as always, money talks. Going into the final race, Hamilton had amassed 5 wins and 94 points, and Massa had also managed 5 wins but had 87 points. This meant that in the event that Massa won and Hamilton finished P6, Massa would win by dint of race wins, having 6 to Hamilton's 5. But all Hamilton had to do was finish P5, and it should have been an easy feat considering the pace of the McLaren MP423. Practice came and went, and it was immediately clear that Massa was the fastest driver on track that weekend, whether it was down to the fact that was his home race, or that he knew he had to win to keep his championship hopes alive. Hamilton wasn't too far off the pace, but nothing astounding going into qualifying. And it was more of the same in qualifying, with Massa taking his 6th pole position of the season, with Hamilton half a second down in P4. Massa was on a mission and it seemed that no one would stop him. Thing is, Hamilton didn't have to. All he had to do was finish P5 as we rolled over to the 2nd of November 2008 and the day of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Massa on pole, Hamilton in P4. It was raining at the start, and the weather was so bipolar of this race you'd think it's the British Grand Prix. Little did anyone know how pivotal it would be. The lights went out and Massa and Hamilton both managed to maintain their positions, as David Coulthard ended his F1 career at turn 1, colliding with the Monaco-based YouTuber who beat Hamilton in equal machinery in 2016. I am trying extremely hard to not make a "is his career over" joke right now. Man, I need to fix my humour. By the way, who the hell invited Jarno Trulli to the front row? Brother, you're in a Toyota. Subsequently, the safety car was called out to clear Coulthard's car. That's a fucking tongue twister, what the hell? During this period, the track started to dry, and when the safety car came back into the pits on lap 5, everyone pitted between lap 7 and 11 for dry tyres. The only issue is that Hamilton pitted on lap 11 instead of lap 10, dropping in behind Alonso, Vettel and Fisichella, as well as being behind Trulli, Raikkonen and Massa, leaving him in P7. Hamilton overtook Trulli on lap 12 and Fisichella on lap 18, bringing him back into P5 and championship contention. The race calmed down from that point on until Massa pitted for fuel to go to the end. Hamilton followed on lap 40 for fuel to the end, and because Vettel was on a lighter fuel load than Hamilton undercut him for P4. However, Vettel, despite being in a Toro Rosso, was hounding Hamilton for P4, but Hamilton was still in a championship winning position, even if Vettel did manage to overtake him. It all looked like a resounding win for Hamilton. However, everyone forgot to account for one thing. This is Interlagos. Nothing is simple in Interlagos. It began to rain again. On lap 63, Nick Heidfeld made the decision to box for intermediate tyres due to the worsening conditions. Kovalainen, Raikkonen and Alonso pitted a lap later, and Hamilton and Vettel pitted a lap later after them, coming out in P5 and P6. They then resumed their battle for P5. Wait, P5? But TMWF1, you may ask. How did they come out in P5 and P6 when they were just battling for P4 just 3 laps ago? Well, that came down to one wild card that only one person would dare try. Timo Glock decided to stay out and gamble on dry tyres and brave the increasingly bad conditions for 6 more laps. This put Hamilton in a perilous situation, now in real danger of losing P5 to Vettel and thus losing the championship to Massa. Hamilton would have to put up the defensive drive of his life to keep the charging Vettel behind. But as the rain got worse, Hamilton uncharacteristically started making mistakes, and on lap 69, Hamilton finally capitulated.
Lets him through. So he's got grip and Hamilton's lost it. Oh my goodness me! Vettel's taken the place, and that could cost Hamilton the World Championship.
Vettel had passed Hamilton for P5, and it was all over. A year on from losing the championship at this very track, Hamilton was about to experience that despair all over again. Lap 70. Hamilton remained on Vettel's tail, but it looked impossible to go for a move, as he was still way too far back. Lap 71. Final lap. Hamilton was still fighting, but it looked to be all over now. Vettel was out of reach. Felipe Massa came across the line to win his home race, the Brazilian Grand Prix, and it was all but confirmed that he would be the first Brazilian world champion since Ayrton Senna. The Ferrari garage started celebrating, and the McLaren garage looked distraught. A yin and yang of emotions. The Ferrari garage was jubilant, still unaware that Hamilton had not finished the race, and the McLaren garage watched, pleading with every ounce of their will, as Hamilton made his way to turn 13, Jinsao. It was all over. And then, it happened.
Desperation starts to creep in for Lewis Hamilton.
Raikkonen's third, and is that Glock? Is that Glock going slowly?
It is,
That's
it's Glock! Oh my goodness me, Hamilton's back in position again.
Timo Glock was struggling far more than the TV cameras let on. He trundled around the track, getting slower with each inch of rain hitting the track, until finally, it was too much. He lost P4 to Vettel on the exit of turn 12, and finally, he lost P5 to Lewis Hamilton at Jinsao. This meant that Hamilton was back in position as he made his way to turn 14. Millions of people watched as the Ferrari garage went from ecstasy to horror, in the biggest case of celebrating too early, and the McLaren garage going from despair to pure celebration as they realised what had happened. And after 71 grueling laps, Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton crossed the line in P5 and won the 2008 Formula 1 World Drivers' Championship by a single point. This, in my opinion, is the best title finale of all time. It brought the same emotion when I watched it for the first time in 2017 as when I watched the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but without the fallout that followed. This was peak F1, but I would be doing you all a disservice if I didn't speak about the other 3 modern title finales that were very much up there with Brazil 08. So, I will be doing a video about 2010, 2012, and he who shall not be 2021. Stay tuned. I know this was a fairly short video, but it was one that I put a fair amount of passion into, so if you like this type of video, feel free to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and goodbye. Also, you cannot tell me that Abu Dhabi was better than this.